Thank you guys for joining us for another edition of our weekly Bengals recap show. The sit down with Malik Wright, presented by First Star Logistics. We are live from my home studio. It's getting a little nice, in here to talk about the Bengals getting back on track. The Cincinnati Bengals got back on track. The Bengals defeated the Arizona Cardinals in, I would say, complete domination. Absolutely domination. And it was awesome to see the team get back on track. But before we jump into, like we always do, make sure you guys give this video a like, subscribe to YouTube channel, and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss when we go live from the First Star Logistics studio or our studio. So Daniel, Bengals bounce back in a huge way. Bengals beat the Cardinals. Big play Bengals are back. Talk to me.
The energy's here. The energy's here. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm sure everybody in the chat's excited. So once again, if you guys are watching, drop down your comments. We're going to get to them. Man, first off, round of applause, coaching staff, creativity. Creativity. I think that was the name of the game when you look at what was the biggest difference we saw. It was just creative. It was a consistent, almost dare I say it, an identity they found. Right? Maybe they found some sort of identity, right? When you look back at the Rams game, what worked right away? Quick passes, get Jamar Chase involved. When you look at the first drive against the Tennessee Titans, what worked? Quick passes, get Jamar Chase involved. What do you know? You got arguably the best receiver in football. You give him, 17 targets, 19 targets? It works. And obviously it wasn't as simple as that. But first off, you get your best player involved. It works. Joe Burrow, you get him into a rhythm. It works. The run game, Joe Mixon had the most carries he's had all year. It works. So obviously the Cardinals aren't the most talented roster, but let's not discredit what they've been doing all year long. They've been playing teams close. So I just want to give a huge round of applause to the offense because that was what's changed, right? That's the reason why the Bengals are 2-3 right now. And that's, like I said, Joe Burrow threw 46 times, but he was in a rhythm. You get your best play involved. And damn, man, it feels good to finally look at the Bengals and say they have an offensive identity because they found it.
Right. And I do want to talk about that for a second.
Yep.
No team should take any win in the league for granted. No team should take any win in the National Football League for granted. The Chiefs almost lost to the Jets the other day. They lost opening day to the Lions, right? The Bengals lost to the Tennessee Titans. The Jaguars were able to knock off the Bills just this morning. So truly, no team should take any win for granted because you just never know what a team might be cooking up. And when you think about the way that this Cardinals team has been playing as of lately, they've been like world beaters, man. They've really been going out there upsetting teams like the Cowboys and playing teams close and almost coming close to knocking a lot of teams off. So when you look at it, man, yeah, this was a good win for the Bengals, and it was a win. It's not a win where people could look at and say, "Oh, the Bengals." Yeah, it was an easy win because the Cardinals have been playing every team close, right? And the fact of the matter is, it's not so much that they got the victory for me; it's how they got the victory, right? Big plays were back. 63-yard bomb down the field to Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase almost eclipsed 200 yards, broke the franchise record for receptions, had 3 catches for touchdowns. And this is what we were talking about, so to speak. This is what he was responsible for, right? This is what we know that this team could be. This is what we know this team could be, could do, honestly. The fact of the matter is, I want to applaud the coaching staff because I'm the one that set up here, and I was very critical of the game plan. I was very critical of the lack of creativity, the lack of helping the offensive line out with certain play calls. And today, I think I saw that. Today, I think I saw Zack Taylor do things, especially pre-snap motion. Jamar Chase is a receiver that gets so much attention from the defense, right? You look at it, just the motion to him, and the entire defense looks at Jamar Chase saying, "Oh, what is Jamar Chase doing?" And he comes back the other way and he throws it to Joe Mixon on the bubble screen, the one you usually throw to Jamar Chase. So it was just more creativity amongst the offense, and those are the type of things that you want to see. The defense. Let's talk about the defense today. The defense, bend but don't break, right? There were a lot of moments in there where the Bengals could have crumbled. Now, I get it. They let up some stuff, but the fact of the matter is, the fact of the matter is this team really, really got on schedule today. And I think they played a complete game. I think offense played well. I think defense played well, and I think special teams played well. Brad Robbins again. I just want to credit Brad Robbins, man. That dude he ever since we were very, very critical of him, he's been playing lights out. Now, first we were like, oh, maybe it was because of the heat in Tennessee and yada yada yada. Nope, don't matter if it's a dome, don't matter if it's a heat. I'm curious to see how he does back at home in the jungle, but the guy's been doing what you would like to see in a punter. Now, obviously, you like to score every single touchdown, every single time you can, but he was flipping the field position and was flipping it in the favor of the Cincinnati Bengals. So a lot of the things that we set up here and we bitched and we moaned about and we said, hey, we want this team to get better at, we saw that today. We saw that today. And I've got nothing but positive things to say. There are obviously some things you can potentially clean up, right? But Joe Burrow looked more mobile. He looked more like himself, man. And yeah, man, I was very, very impressed with the Bengals. I feel like they have something to build upon now, right? And I just want to also ridicule a couple of things I've seen. People like, oh, well, that means we don't need T. Higgins and stuff like that. I saw a little bit of that. T. Higgins is still a great player for this organization, and I don't think that the fantastic day, the record-breaking day that Jamar Chase has anything to do with T. Higgins moving forward or anything like that, man. That guy is an absolute beast to have on this football team. But you got a lot to look forward to, man, with the Bengals. Daniel, what was your biggest takeaway of the game?
Man, my biggest takeaway is Bengals fans, they shouldn't panic. And the reason why I say that, once again, it may sound like a broken record, but the offense, they found their identity. That's hands down is what, my biggest takeaway is, because we were saying it right. Social media was saying, we saw people, pulling up clips saying, all right, this is what works, Bengals. This is what works.
Yep.
My biggest takeaway is the Bengals found what works, not we didn't find it, right? Not people on social media found it, the Bengals coaching staff, because at the end of the day, they're the people that make the calls, right? We don't make calls. The fans don't make the calls. They finally made the call and it worked. Mm-hmm. So that's hands down was my biggest takeaway. And also Joe Burrow, to your point about the T. Higgins thing, it's not so much about T. Higgins. It's more so this is the type of quarterback Joe Burrow is. This is the type of quarterback that we've been saying he is. He can do it respectfully without the elite talent around him, because that's his play style, right? That's what makes him different than the Allens and the Mahomes. He's willing to do what he did with Trenton Irwin. The game wouldn't have gone the way it did. They wouldn't have won by 14 points if he didn't get into a rhythm with Trenton Irwin right away.
Yeah, man, and that's the cool thing, man. You got everybody involved, man. You got Tyler Boyd involved. You got Yoshi involved. You got Trent Irwin involved early and often. I also want to say thank you to the books. The easiest bet of the day was so disrespectful.
Yeah.
Trent Irwin to have 2.5 catches was plus 120. I don't think that the books have called on that Trent Irwin is one of Joe Burrow's favorite targets just yet, but he's one of Joe Burrow's favorite targets, right? So thank you to that. And next week, I'll be playing that exact same play, because this is a guy that he absolutely thrived in his opportunities last year, and he thrived in his opportunities again. But hey, this isn't a betting show. I don't want to talk about betting. I just wanted to say very, very happy. Won $3,500 tonight on betting on the Bengals money line. I bet on Trenton Irwin's receptions at 3 to 2.5, and I bet Joe Mixon to have 3.5 receptions, so 4 receptions. So absolutely love the way today has panned out. I'm pumped up. I'm excited, but let's keep the conversation rolling. Defensive line, Trey Hendrickson played with his hair on absolute fire. The guy's been an absolute menace almost in every single game this season. It seems like the only way you can really slow him down is if you hold, or if you hit him with a blindside block or something like that. But that entire defensive line really, really stepped up in a big, big way. Jermaine Pratt, linebackers, played absolutely amazing, man. And you know what's crazy, guys? This is what we were talking about. This is the game that the Bengals had to win. This is this is the showing that they had to have, right? Because confidence comes from knowing. Confidence also is something you can kind of build upon, and it's something that can carry over to the next game. So just seeing the interceptions, the sacks, the touchdowns, the big plays, the extending the plays, the offensive line getting in some sort of a groove, the running game helping the passing game, those type of things can help the rest of the team moving forward. Those type of things we can see catapult itself into the next game. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to for the Bengals, man. That's something I'm looking forward to, man. Joe Burrow really looked like his old self, man. And the fact of the matter is, this was just one win, right? Next week, you have the Seattle Seahawks at home, right? And then you have a bye week, and then you play the Niners. Then you play the schedule gets real very fast. The Seahawks are a tough game. We know what they want to do. They want to run the ball with Kenneth Walker, and then they want to marry that together with the play action and hit deep shots to Debo. I mean, not to Debo, to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. So we know, and you got to deal with Noah Fant too. So the Bengals tight end issues that they have at times of carding the tight end, this will be one of the measuring stick type of games as well for them and for this defense. Yep. What say you, Daniel?
So all I'm going to say, and I just keep thinking about this, right? This version of the Bengals offense, this quick pass version, I don't think anybody can beat. And it sounds crazy because, just last week we were saying, all right, we need to see more. I genuinely don't think there's a team, look at the 49ers, their secondary isn't elite. And how do you beat a great pass rush with quick passes? And you look at what were the Titans doing, right? What were the Rams doing? What did the Cardinals start doing? They were, okay, let's just play off. Let's play off of the receivers. So take what the defense gives you. And I'll be honest, this version of the Bengals offense, I don't see a team truly being able to stop.
And let's talk about that a little more, because I don't want to overblow this victory. And I know that's not what you're doing, but I don't want to overblow this victory. And I also don't want to overlook the future opponents the Bengals have, or even overlook what happened the first couple of weeks in the season. But here's what I will say. I'm in agreement with you to an extent. I think in some ways they overcomplicated what made them great. And I think they saw the fact that they went out there and they got Orlando Brown and they felt more secure about the offensive line, that they went away from what made this team truly tick, which was quick passes, which was, getting your receivers, giving your playmakers the ball, in space. Things, not overcomplicating things. Listen, this offense does not do well under certain things, such as, hey, we're going to drop back, we're going to hold the ball super long, and then we're going to wait for a guy to come up, and then we're going to launch it. They don't do well running the ball from under center. It's the little things that they try to force upon this team that doesn't work that way. So for me, yes, I agree. RPO is huge. RPO is something that they need to do, and ever since they went to that style of offense, it has made things a lot easier. It's less stress on a guy like Joe Burrow. It's less stress on the offensive line. You're able to get the ball to your playmakers quicker. I've always felt like Tyler Boyd is a guy that is kind of truly forgotten about in this offense sometimes. And he's a guy in this style of offense with the quick passes can eat. Because if you look at it, if you often look, the cornerbacks on the outside, they typically press Jamar Chase, right? Or T. Higgins or whoever the other outside receiver are. And they usually play a little bit weirdly off towards the slot. They play much more of a softer type of coverage when it comes to a Tyler Boyd. So I think Tyler Boyd is the key to making things a little easier on the offense, because if you start hitting those quick passes to Tyler Boyd, those quick passes to Jamar Chase, what happens is, people start saying, oh my God, okay, we need to respect that a little more. You press up, and then it allows you for the big shot deep down the field. And I think that is truly something that the Bengals offense has to continue to unlock, because I think today we saw more of emergence from Tyler Boyd and from just work inside the slot in general. Obviously, the pre-snap motion, things that we kind of stressed about in the beginning, are things that can definitely help. But yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Yeah. So I'm having not an epiphany, but I'm thinking about, okay, how are teams beating the Bengals, right? And it may sound basic, but if you have a great front four, the way that they're beating them is simply a great pass rush with just 4 guys. They don't have to worry about blitzing. And you got 2 deep safeties, which take away the deep pass, and you're pressing the receivers on the outside. So how do you beat that, right? The reason why I think the Bengals haven't been beating that is they go away from the run, right? The run works against cover 2. It works when they're just rushing 4, but the Bengals get away from that. So this could be a reason why the Bengals did so well, is because the Cardinals can't get a pass rush with just 4. So that's the next step, right? How do you beat that? Because the blueprint, I'm not saying it's out to beat the Bengals, but that's how they've been losing, right? You beat them with 4. That's why the Browns, Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, all they do is rush 4, 2 deep. And that's been the biggest issue, because the Bengals go away from the run. So I kind of understand how teams are beating the Bengals, but now it's going to be interesting to see, especially against the Niners too.
So sorry to cut you off.
No,
there's a game within a game, right, that I want to commend the coaching staff with, because obviously it's easy to come out there with a game script and be able to use that game script to your advantage. But then there's what happens when you have to go off script. What happens when you have to make things happen that wasn't a part of the game plan? And it was looking like it was getting a little hairy there for a second when the Cardinals went up 14-10. It was like, okay, maybe the Cardinals figure something out. They went back to the drawing board. They went back to what works. They went back to being more creative. They didn't just rest on their laurels and say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go back to being a basic offense, a boring style offense, handing the ball off, trying to force an issue that isn't there. Before we continue this discussion, Give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss when we go live. We have over 100 people in the chat. We appreciate you guys right now for tuning in with us, but we've only got 29 likes. Let's try to change that. We appreciate you guys. We're going to do our best to answer your questions at the end, like I always like to do. I don't care that Sunday Night Football is going on between the Cowboys and the 49ers. We're going to stay here with you guys and talk with you guys because you guys know this show is a show for you. And plus, we owe it to you guys. We went late a little lot. We went live a little later than I anticipated than I wanted to. But keeping the conversation rolling. The fact of the matter is, man, this team won in the way that they were supposed to win. They won in the way that they were supposed to win. And that's something that, you got to hang your hat on. It's so hard to win in the National Football League, man. And I think we were kind of spoiled the last 2 years. When I say we, I say the Bengals, the Bengals are spoiled kind of the last 2 years where we sort of just expected things to come, realizing that there's another team across the field that has to play you just as much as you have to play them, right? So they're going to do things to try to counteract what you're doing and, so on and so forth. But it was just so refreshing to see them stick to the game plan, stick with the running game, and stick behind the guy that has been their most consistent offensive player this season in Joe Mixon. Regardless of people want to say about that's been something that has really helped. The running game has been a bright spot for the Bengals this season. And the fact that you continue to go, they continue to stick with it today and allowed it to open other things, man, it was huge, man. So props to the coaching staff. Props to the coaching staff for the victory. Let's start to answer some people's questions though.
Yeah. Looking at some of these, I mean, I can't tell if Malachi was talking about us. He said, can some of y'all please just enjoy a dub? Like, how are these guys butthurt? I don't think he's talking about us because we're not butthurt, right? We were ecstatic. You were yelling when Jamar Chase had the deep touchdown. So I hope he's talking about other people, but
you can't let people know that I got fired up about that though, man. And then you say I got fired up when Jamar Chase scored a touchdown, which won because he scored 3. So but no, it was a 63-yard one, man, because you were waiting for that one. But,
so good question here from Chris B. Did Jonah Williams have a bad game? Pressure looked interior to me. So he's asking, how do you think the offensive line played?
I thought the offensive line, listen, guys, I really think the offensive line has gotten a bad rap the last couple of weeks, to be honest. And I've been on record saying that. I think they've been playing well. I don't think that the play calling has been conducive to help their success. But I also don't think that, I don't think it's fair, right? Because I feel like it's been very, I feel like it's been, when you see a lot of the pressure coming from blitzes and stuff like that, the middle, and the offensive line's job, just to be honest with you, is to block their guy, obviously pick up on blitzes and stunts and stuff like that, pass guys off, especially when guys are trying to do stunt moves on you. But if a cornerback is coming off the edge, or if a cornerback or a safety is coming on a delayed blitz, that's on the running back, right? That's on the running back. That's on the quarterback to check out of those plays. And also there's been some such things as coverage sacks lately for the Bengals as well, which is something that I think that has reared its ugly head. Coverage sacks. And I think that with Joe Burrow being a little bit more mobile now, he's going to be able to escape the pocket and make plays happen on the run. And I think when it happens then is you start to see teams stop blitzing him as much. Like, I was talking to a good buddy of mine. He was like, hey, I just think people aren't scared to blitz the Bengals this year. Well, they better be, because I think that what Joe Burrow showed today is I think he showed that, hey, I can beat it. And, that's something that the Cardinals really had going from with the guy Garnett and a bunch of Dante Stills, a bunch of their guys that they have there, man. They try to put pressure on you. They try to heat you up when they think that they have an advantage, and they try to take advantage of every little moment that they could. But I think what Joe Burrow showed today is that he's getting back to form. He's getting back to his rhythm. So even though the Bengals won and we're happy about that, I'm more so happy with the way that he looked and the way how mobile he looked and his ability to extend plays. I told you, I said this is going to be the get right game going into this game. I said I believe this will be the get right game, and not only that, I also think that they're going to look very, very good next week against the Seahawks too. I believe that too. I think that they're going to be taking advantage of it. It's going to be a big matchup, right? You got Tariq Woolen going up against Jamar Chase or Devin Witherspoon. So there's going to be some moments. There's definitely going to be some. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's a winnable game. It's a tough game, but it's a winnable game.
And that's the same thing where respectfully, like even after that game, the Seahawks defense isn't great. Like early in the season, they got torched by the Lions. They were getting torched by these other teams. They got 2 good corners. So I still think that we're going to be able to see not the same type of Bengals offense, but the Bengals offense should do what they did today. Right. This isn't like the Niners. I think that's the game where, okay, you go up against the Niners, and that's what I'm curious to see. Okay, how do they counteract the front 4 of the San Francisco 49ers? So this game against Seahawks, it's going to be a different game. And we had a good question about Are you guys concerned about the back end? Nick Scott, why is Nick Scott still playing? So I think that goes to the point next week. You face DK, Tyler Lockett, and Geno Smith. I think he's still healthy, right? And if he's healthy, that's a good passing offense. Kenneth Walker, too, saying, the Bengals missed some tackles today. That can't happen next week because Kenny can be gone. So what's your thoughts on the back end of the Bengals?
If you're asking me in terms of like, how do I feel about the secondary, like the back end of the secondary? Yeah, definitely. You want to see some more from there. I don't know why Nick Scott is still starting. But I've been saying that for a while, but I think the reason why at this point is because he's a veteran.
Yeah.
At some point I've been on record saying, I think Jordan Battle is going to wind up taking his job before the season's out, because I think it's going to be hard to keep a guy like Jordan Battle off the field. And you kept hearing his name today. Which tells you what? That guy is taking advantage of opportunities, the limited opportunities that he is getting, whether it's, hey, you're assigned to go cover a tight end. Hey, you're going out there to blitz. Hey, you're going, you know what I mean? So I think that it's going to, I think eventually it's going to, we're going to see Jordan Battle.
1000%. And I mean, let's even talk about real quick, DJ Turner.
Sure.
DJ Turner had one hell of a day. What was your thoughts on him?
I thought DJ Turner played great, man. A lot of, some people didn't understand the pick when we first drafted him, but I think that, obviously it's a business in the NFL, and the closer you get towards these guys' contracts, you start to have conversations, right? But I think a guy like DJ Turner, seeing his emergence in this offense, man, it makes you very, very hopeful, man. It makes you very, very hopeful for, not offenses. I said offense in this defense.
Yeah.
It makes you very, very hopeful for his maturation process. So,
yeah. And that's the same thing. I mean, even looking at the rest of the secondary, there was, obviously the Jalen Davis touchdown, but that's more of a thing. You don't put him in that situation, him one-on-one against Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
You don't do that.
So just looking at, or you were going to say something?
I just want to remind people as well, if you guys could do a huge favor, give this video a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've got over 130 people in this chat. We've only got 45 likes. If you guys can like this video up, we greatly appreciate it. Let's continue to answer some questions, though.
So we had a question some people were asking about, like Ducey said, so now we know we can put up numbers without Higgins. And also a question up there was from Joe Wood. Do you believe the absence of T. Higgins helped the passing game somehow?
I think Jamar Chase being vocal, saying pass me the damn ball and saying I'm always effing open, helped the offense somehow. Listen, you need a guy like that to be more vocal. Listen, he's one of the best wide receivers in football. And here's what I'll also say as well. I want to commend the fire you see from Joe Burrow. Usually see Joe Burrow very workmanlike, man. But to see in the fire he was, even at the end of the game when the Bengals are up 2 scores, Travion Williams misses an assignment where he's supposed to take the handoff, and he completely, botched it. And you just saw Joe Burrow look at him like it gave me almost like Tom Brady, Julian Edelman vibes, where he used to yell at Julian for a misread or something like that. So you want to see that fire from your offensive leader. You want to see that from Joe Burrow. So like, I don't know, seeing him be like that, man, I was like, okay, all right, man, that's type of fire that you want to see, because something that's you felt was always missing. It's like you could tell that the team was tired of the talk. You could tell the team was tired of people writing them off and saying that it was over. I guess Joe Burrow got tired of all the Joe over tweets and all that. So all the comments being made about how the Bengals' demise was here, but they're not out of it. They're not out of it. And what's crazy? They're still in a position to win the division. Obviously, the Steelers beat the Ravens today. That helped. No team has a clear lead in this division.
They're one game back.
Which tells you, and we've seen this team get hot. But again, it has to be consistent. The game has to be consistent. They have to stay consistent if they want to, if they really want to make a run here.
So we got a question. Who was the most pleasant surprise for you in this game?
The most pleasant surprise for me in this game was Joe Burrow. I knew he was getting close, obviously, but I didn't. Just to see how in tune he was today with everybody and how he kept getting everyone involved, man. That was really, really, really good to see, honestly, because you're like, okay, is this calf injury going to keep lingering? Is it going to hurt him? Is it going to what's going to happen? I'm sure it's going to be something he continues to deal with throughout the season, obviously, but he was a pleasant surprise. I'll also say pleasant surprise for me was DJ Turner was a surprise for sure. Seeing the way Brad Robbins is continually impressing, because I was like, all right, man, maybe it was just a 1-game thing, and he continued to show up. I would say, and I know most people would say Jordan Battle was surprised, but he's not a surprise for me because I got the pleasure, watching him all the time, being an Alabama Crimson Tide fan. I know what that guy brings to the table, man. And I always said, hey, if he got his opportunity, he's going to run with it. So, it was good to see it though.
Yeah, 1000%. I would definitely say Brad Robbins. Brad Robbins is a guy where,
and I know it's like a non-sexy, but you're like, oh, punter of all things, right?
But I mean, when we were watching the game, like I forgot how far, 59 something yards.
Yeah, 59
and then
yards.
Obviously, I think there was a penalty and he ran it back, but like, man, he booted the hell out of that. And that's something where it's the non-sexy things, but field position matters. And after seeing that, obviously you can say it was in a dome, it's hot, whatever. Brad Robbins still did his job, and that was definitely a surprise for me. Okay, question from Ohio or more. So what were your thoughts on Andre Yoshivas?
Limited time we got to see him, but it was good. He made a crucial catch. I mean, I would say that. Some people say he juggled it. I don't think he juggled. I think he caught that. But he in his limited reps to take advantage, he showed up when his number was called.
Yeah. Question from Josh. He said, do you guys believe it's time to find a running back too? Our backups are just not cutting it. What's your thoughts on the running back position?
I really like Chris Evans, and I know he hasn't gotten a shot as of here recently. I know he dealt with the injury and came back. But I think there's still something there potentially. So, yeah.
That's, I'm not going to say I'm concerned, but like you got 11 more weeks, and knock on wood, obviously Joe Mixon stays healthy, because if Joe's healthy and he's doing what he's doing, he's giving you great running back production.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, the man gets hurt. It's the same question we had about Joe Burrow. You don't have a backup. So that's, I would be a little concerned.
Yeah. Somebody asked the question. They said Zack Taylor, 100% Zack Taylor. I completely would be remiss if he was definitely a pleasant surprise. The play calling was very good. So props to Zack Taylor and company. Let's keep doing that, right? Let's keep doing that. Let's keep being consistent with it. But it was good. It was good to see the offense have some sort of a rhythm today, and then marry it together with the run game, with the pass game, and making it work for them.
Nicholas Mercier asked Malik, who are you more concerned about moving forward, offense or defense?
Offense for sure. You don't want this to be. I need to see consistency. I need to see consistency before I feel comfortable in just saying, yeah, it's the defense. Obviously, the defense, they had that bend but don't break style, but it's something that it's just something that you wanted to see work. It's just something that you wanted to see work for them, and it worked for them today, honestly. But I'm hoping that the defense can kind of whip into shape and be consistent, because we need them. We need the defense to do well, man. We need the defense to show up. And I think if they show up and if the offense plays like it played today, obviously every game won't be amazing, right? There will be some dogfights in there, but you definitely want to be able to feel comfortable. There was a point in time when we put the Bengals defense on the football field, we were like, okay, we know they're not going to break here. We know they're going to be consistent, and we never had any doubt. And you want to kind of get back to that.
1000%. We got a good question from UOG. He said, how was play calling today, or was it just Chase making plays? I mean, we already touched on it, but it was the play calling definitely helped. And the fact of the matter is, you've got one of the best receivers in football. You're going to be paying this dude $30-something million. Damn right, you're going to throw the ball at him 19 times. Right. And if it's working, why stop? So play calling, actually giving your guys a chance, Joe Burrow being more healthy. Yeah, Travis said a trade for Kyle Pitts. What's your thoughts on the tight end position from today?
I know how I feel about the tight end position. I think they need to make it a focal point. They need to make it important, because a tight end is truly a quarterback's best friend. It gets the quarterback out of a lot of issues, and Joe Burrow has yet to have a tight end that he could build that rapport with. And I just don't think that I think the people that you have at the tight end position, I understand people show flash and stuff like that, but it's a lot of fillers. There's really nobody you can actually build and grow with, and they don't have to be necessarily the most elite prospect. They don't have to be run a 4.42 or anything like that. But they have to just be consistent. They have to have strong hands, right? They have to have that relationship with Joe Burrow, and ideally, you want somebody that can block and catch passes out of the back. Run. Is doing in Detroit, and you're like, man, if the Bengals had a guy like that, but it takes a lot of stress off of the wide receiving core, because if you have a tight end that's reliable, if you had like a Mark Andrews-esque type tight end, it just makes your life easier at the end of the day.
Call New England and get Mike Gesicki, someone said. I mean, they look at how bad they are right now. Somebody said, any hope in Zach Ertz flying back to
He's just
Cincy.
old. He's old now.
Yeah.
Zach Ertz is old now at this point. But going back to the Mike Gesicki thing, you guys know me. You already know where I stand with that, man.
Akia the Great said, "Are you guys concerned about the defensive tackle position?"
Defensive tackle position, DJ Reader, no. 3 tech, something you just BJ Hill's been playing, well, has been playing great lately. It's just something you just want to see more out of. And the hope is if the offense continues to put together good drives and extended drives and keeps the defense off the field, you'll start to see more flashes from this defense. That's my thought process. But if the defense is playing, out snapping the offense or playing the exact same amount of snaps or whatever the case may be, you just it leaves a lot. It puts the defense in a tough position, if you ask me. If the defense is consistently on the football field and the offense is doing 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs, it's like with anything, right? It's like that's what happened with Kevin Huber. Like his leg was going out, man, because that guy was consistently punting. It's the same thing with defense, right? That if the defense is consistent on the field, it leaves more errors, it leaves more opportunities for lapses in coverage. And missed tackle opportunities. But if the offense is able to give these guys a true breather and let these guys sit on the sideline, drink their Gatorade, and chill out, man, then I think that this defense can get back to form. Maybe not all the way back to the form that they had when we went to the Super Bowl, but it can get back to a respectable form. But I really do believe that with more reps, this defense, I think that with more reps, this defense is going to start to play better. I think with Dax Hill getting more reps, with Jordan Battle getting more reps, and those guys starting to learn each other movement, people got to understand how in tune Von Bell and Jesse Bates were in with each other, right? They played with each other for a couple of years, and they just knew each other's movements. It's like Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson. Those guys play very, very well together because they just know what to expect from one another because they've been playing with each other for so long. It's the same thing here. If you, this is a very inexperienced defensive back room, I would say. And I think that once you get more reps out of the defensive back room, I think you'll see a lot more success in the same. I feel very similar with the defensive line, right? The more reps Joseph Tsai gets, he's been a guy that's been in and out of the injury, out of the lineup with injuries and stuff like that. The more reps he gets, the more reps Myles Murphy gets, the more reps that this entire defensive unit as a whole gets together. I think the stronger this unit will be. But I think we overlooked the fact of how long this defense was together.
1,000%. And that's something even Jeffrey Rice said. He said the fact that the Bengals had, time possession 40-20, that helped. And it did. It did because this was the first game where the time possession was truly lopsided in the Bengals factor or in the Bengals favor. And you look at it, it helps. It helps. So we got some more questions here. Once again, if you guys have any questions, drop them down below. Josh Holland said, seems like the Bengals have a hard time with outside runs. What's your thoughts? I know you got Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson.
I wouldn't say necessarily they have outside. They have a struggle with that. I just think that, again, I think it's more reps, man. Knowing what to expect. The communication is something that we've seen the last few weeks that have been lapses for this defense. Whether we're giving the touchdown to the Rams later in that game or, just even the end around today to, I believe, was it Rondale Moore? It's those type of things. You just want to see, you want this defense to get more reps together and start to really establish a rhythm with one another. It's like, it's really like riding a bike, I guess. With more reps you get, the better you get at it. And again, I just think the offense has to do a better job of also making the life easier for the defense as well.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a huge thing. Time of possession's huge. And when you look at, we got some more questions about the Bengals defense. What would you say is the biggest area for improvement for the Bengals defense moving forward?
Pressure on the quarterback, interior pressure on the quarterback, something that I definitely want to see a little bit more of. You need, again, 3-tech position is something that I'm looking squarely at, and I'm saying, hey, hate to put the onus on BJ Hill, but you want to see an up. You want to see the growth of people like Zach Carter. You want to see BJ Hill continue to be that guy. DJ Reader is clogging up a lot in the middle and taking a lot of blockers, which should be rewarded with good play from his 3-tech that's next to him. And BJ Hill has looked better in bright spots today. A little quieter of a game, I would say, but it's just something you want to see more consistency out of. I don't know what you have to do. I don't know if you got to move Myles Murphy in there to give BJ Hill some relief. I don't know if you got to move kick Sam Hubbard in there, or maybe even Joseph Tsai, but you definitely want to get some more juice from the interior pass rush of the defensive line for sure.
We got our guy Larry Spicer. He said, I just want to say y'all do the best Bengals show out there. Watch every week. Thank you for what you do. We appreciate you, our guy Larry. Long time,
Larry. Appreciate you, brother. It's good hearing from you, man.
So
let's answer 2 more questions. Get out of here.
All right. P. Crawley said, "Are 4-man stunts the offensive line's kryptonite?"
I think I think again, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I think just communication is something that has to work with them. But again, this is a new offensive line up front together, like the new unit essentially playing together. Or people moving in different spots and stuff like that. But I would say the blitzes have been more so this offense's kryptonite. The blitz is up the middle, man. And I think the more Joe Burrow shows that he's healthy, the less and less you'll get teams doing that, honestly.
Yeah, and I think
And today he beat it a couple times. Too.
Yeah. And a lot of it, honestly, guys, go watch what the Texans are doing. Huge shout out to the offense coordinator. They're able to stop blitzes, and it's all scheme. Whether it's you have a tight end chip, whether you have a running back chip, it's all scheming. It's all scheming. So I wouldn't be too worried, just saying our offensive line sucks. We get beat on blitzes. It's okay. They're going to be fine.
Also, there's a lot of people out there that are ridiculing Ted Karras. I just want to just remind everybody. Give me a second. Give me a second.
You got it.
I respect the hell out of Ted Karras, but I think there's a little bit of fool's gold there, right? He's a lovable guy in Cincinnati. He's a guy that, people really, really get behind, rally behind. He's a dude's dude, essentially. He's a guy that Joe Burrow wanted to be a center. But I don't want you guys to forget what Ted Karras has been throughout his career. This is a guy that was a tweener, essentially, on the Patriots offensive line. He wasn't a guard. He wasn't a center. He wasn't a center. He wasn't a guard. He was moved around a lot of spots. He was a guy that in a pinch and you needed him, he could start. He did start he did have a lot of starting experience, but it wasn't, he was never like some Pro Bowl elite level type of center or offensive lineman. He was just a guy that just did his job. He was the same way with the Dolphins as well, too. I mean, he is a good football player. He's a good football player, but I just want to make sure the expectations are I want to make sure that the expectations are just realistic for him. I think a lot of people think the expectations are they're expecting elite level of play from a guy like Ted Karras, and I just don't think that's fair to him because he's never been that guy throughout his career. And it's ideally, I know you want every offensive lineman on your football team to be elite, but that's just never been his game. He's a respectable player, but I don't think anything more than that. I mean, I just think what would you say? He's a couple tiers better than a guy like Quentin Spain, maybe. Yeah. I don't know, but he's a guy with a big personality. Great for the offensive line. He's a dude's dude, and the players love him, and the fan base loves him. But let's just not blow the expectations of who Ted Karras is as a player out of proportion.
Yeah, and like you said, it's okay to be fine. Yeah. It's okay to be fine as offensive line. And there's no offensive line in the NFL that's elite, like has elite players. It's scheming. So, you want to answer one more?
Yeah, my guy says, Tree Relief says the lighting in front of Malik is a distraction. No, there's no light in front of me. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. But let's see what else.
There was a Miles Murphy question.
There was a Miles Murphy question.
Just overall, what was your thoughts? Should he be getting more playing time?
Miles Murphy, I think that'll come as the season continues to go. I think that'll come with reps. Ohio Lakers 513 says, great show. Thanks for having us. Thanks for doing this post-game show. Blessings and great rest of your Sunday. Hooday. I want you guys to do us a huge favor. You guys can. Got 60 likes, over 154 people in this chat. Give this video a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Turn on post notifications. We got a goal. We want to hit 10K. And yeah, I see, man. We've got some spam going on in the chat from an adult dating site. So that's
that's fun.
That's fun.
That's great, man. Right, click on that.
That's your
I assure you that's my spam right now.
Oh my God.
My viruses.
Yeah, but guys, this is great, man. The Bengals get back on track a little bit now, 2-3, right? You had the opportunity to go 3-3 going into your bye week, and then this a whole new season at that point in time. But control what you can control. The Bengals got to control what they can control, and what they can control is beating Seattle, right? Beating Seattle is the top priority for the Bengals. Somebody says most interactive Bengals show there is. Like it up and support the homies. Appreciate you guys. We can't do this without you guys. Hopefully you guys made some money today. I saw one of the guys I follow on Twitter. He does a great job making content. He hit on a huge parlay apparently. For the Bengals, it was like plus 30,000 or something like
really?
That. Yeah, it was like something crazy, but it was good to see. I was happy to see that for him, man.
Why can't that be
happy
for you, bro?
I'm trying to see if there's any other questions. Listen, guys, we appreciate you guys so much for supporting. Hopefully, this Kickstart's a great week for you guys. As you guys know, I'll be back live on Wednesday for State of the Jungle presented by First Star Logistics. Remember, each and every single week that the Bengals play a game, First Star Logistics will be doing a giveaway, a unique giveaway of some sort. This week's giveaway is going to be a Bengals neon light. I'm excited to see who's going to win. But make sure you guys follow First Star Logistics on X or Twitter, or whatever you like to call it, and subscribe to the First Star Media Group YouTube channel, so that way you guys can automatically be entered in for a chance to win these amazing prizes. I hope that you guys all enjoy your football Sunday, your football Sunday night. I don't know who you guys are rooting for in the comment section. Let me know who you guys got tonight. You guys got the Cowboys, you guys got the Niners. Let us know in the comment section. Can't wait to see. We appreciate you guys. But until next time,